Math Plus, where math makes sense. Decimals and powers of 10. Understanding how decimals relate to powers of 10 is fundamental in both mathematical and practical contexts. So again, we have a number system that is based on the powers of 10. And that actually creates a lot of shortcuts for us in mathematics. And part of why I think mathematics is so much fun. So as we talked about, our place value system, as you move every place value to the left, it's always 10 times larger. When you go to the right, it's always 10 times smaller. Therefore, it can continue forever to the left and forever to the right. It just each time you add another decimal. Now, once you understand that, you'll see how we can use that. But before we move on, I want to review really quick how you read a decimal. For example, if you have a decimal that is, or number that is, you would read this 3 and 67 hundredths. 3 and 67 hundredths. We went over this in the last video, and it's good to always remember how to read a decimal. Even with a larger number with just one decimal place. 413 and 7 tenths. Decimals can be represented as fractions where the denominator is a power of 10. So decimals and powers of 10 are crucial in scientific calculations and financial transactions, especially like interest rates, and also in measurement with the metric system, because the metric system is based on powers of 10. Decimals are really a way of showing fractions in our number system. For example, tenths, you notice here, 1 tenth equals 1 tenth. So if that would be 6 tenths, it would equal 6 over 10, the fraction 6 over 10. So the only thing is, each time, each place value would be 1 tenth smaller. So the thousandths is 1 1,000th. The next place value would be 1 10,000. And it keeps going that way forever, because it can always get 10 times smaller. Once you understand powers of 10, it's really neat how we can use that to actually multiply and divide very quickly. So moving the decimal point is a straightforward when multiplying or dividing by powers of 10. So let me show you what I mean. If we're going to multiply 3 and 45 hundredths by 10, all you have to do is look at your multiplying by 10, which is 1 0. That means you're going to move the decimal point one place to the right. So see here, multiplying a decimal by 10, 100, 1,000, and so forth shifts the decimal point to the right. And you shift it by the number of zeros, because that's telling you how many place values you're moving. So this answer would be 34 and 5 tenths. Now let's look at this one. We're multiplying 0 and 8 thousandths by 100. There are 2 zeros, so I'm going to shift the decimal point 2 places. So the answer would be 0.8, because now the decimal point is going to go right before the 8. So it's very, very quickly. Now, when we go over multiplication of decimals, I can show you how we can actually multiply this out and show you that it works. But I wanted to show this here while I'm talking about powers of 10 so you understand the importance and how much it helps you to understand powers of 10. And now here's another one. We have 3 zeros in 1,000. So that means we have to move this 3 places. There's 2. So what we need to do is add a 0 so we can do it 3 places. So this answer would become 9630, and the decimal point would go there. So it would be 9,630 630. And you really wouldn't even have to put the decimal point because once you multiply this by 1,000, it becomes just a whole number. Okay, now it's just the opposite when you're dividing a decimal by 100,000 and so forth. It shifts the decimal point to the left. So here's an example, 0.75, that's 7,500 divided by 10. That means it's going to shift one place this way. So we would have to add a 0 in front of it. The answer is 75 thousandths. Here we're dividing by 100, so we would go 2 places. So the answer would be 976 thousandths. You can also, a lot of people like to put a 0 in the ones place. You don't have to, but you can. It does not change the value of the number. Just like over here, if I would put a 0 after 9,630, it doesn't change the value of the number because it's after the decimal point. And the last example is we're multiplying by 1,000. We have 3 zeros. So that means we're going to have to add 2 zeros, go 1, 2, 3. And that's where the decimal point goes. So the answer would be decimal point 0, 0, 1, 2, 4. So again, multiplying by powers of 10 is really effective once you know how to do it with the decimal point.